Hello, and thank you for joining us for a brief but important message about how we can work together to improve auditory access for AAA presentations and events. My name is Nate. I use he, him, his. I'm a white male with short brown hair, wearing a light gray polo, sitting in front of a virtual background showing lush green houseplants in a library. I'm the director of meetings and events, and with me are members of the AAA Access team, Nell and Kyle.
Hi, my name is Nell. I use she, her, hers. I am a white woman with short black hair. I'm wearing a headset and I've got a quatrefoil patterned white collared shirt on right now. And I've got a virtual background of my office back in Virginia behind me. I am the Accessibility and Meetings Coordinator for the American Anthropological Association, and I'm very happy to be here.
Hi, my name is Kyle, and I use he, him pronouns. I'm a mixed white and Latino male with short, dark hair, wearing a blue button-up collared shirt, sitting on a green couch with various pieces of artwork on the wall. I'm the owner of the Kyle Duarte Company, the provider of ASL interpreting and real-time captioning for AAA.
We've created this short video to help participants learn some tips for how to support accessible practices related to auditory access and how to work with American Sign Language interpreters and CART captioners during an event or presentation, whether virtual or in person. CART stands for Communication Access Real-Time Translation and may be referred to as real-time captioning. Nell will now share some information about accessibility more broadly and what types of materials help the interpreters and captioners accurately caption and interpret your very important work.
As the Accessibility and Meetings Coordinator at AAA, I am here not only to ensure we successfully implement a variety of accessibility and accommodations initiatives, but to also foster a cultural change through a disability culture lens in our association. This perspective helps us learn how to embrace accessibility beyond compliance through measures of collective access so that all members can participate in all aspects of AAA. For auditory accessibility specifically, we provide at minimum CART captioning and where possible ASL interpreting, which means we work with captioners and interpreters in doing so. A variety of people may have auditory access needs, including uppercase D deaf, lowercase d deaf, and hard of hearing people, as well as people with auditory processing disorders. Beyond members of the accessibility and disability communities, captioning specifically may also benefit members of the elderly population or people who have learned English as an additional language. Needless to say, there may also be overlap among all of these groups. To provide better service for people with these access needs, we gather information and materials from you before any event so that captioners and interpreters can successfully caption and interpret what you are saying. As a baseline, we ask for you to provide a list of terms, which includes presenter names along with any other terms that may not be commonly used, especially any jargon. AAA has provided a list of terms template that you can download and use inspired by member Jennifer Kuhl. This should also include information about the presentation itself, such as the title of the presentation, any additional information such as descriptions or abstracts, and where possible, an outline can be useful. Additionally, if you plan to provide other documents, especially slides, then sharing those with the captioning and interpreting team will help them have context in advance, so they can more accurately caption and interpret your work because they know what content will be discussed or presented next. You can find more information about what is helpful in preparing captioners and interpreters on our accessibility webpage at americananthro.org/accessibility. I will now pass it along to Kyle, who will speak more about what you can do while presenting, whether in person or in a virtual format, to ensure captioners and interpreters are supported and thus do the best job they can, which will enrich your event.
I think one of the most important things to remember is that captioners and interpreters are humans who are unfortunately not likely experts in your field of anthropology. They will thus require time to render your important work in written English or American Sign Language. Often, captioners and interpreters are working 2 to 3 seconds behind you, but sometimes as long as 10 seconds. Because of this, we ask that you speak at a pace like you would use when talking with friends or family. When giving your presentation or roundtable, be sure that one person is speaking at a time. Provide a description or explanation of visual materials you may have, and make connections between your spoken presentation and the visual supports you provide. Take a breath between slides or sections. Finally, when taking questions or engaging in discussion, remember that the time delay I mentioned earlier may mean that some attendees will offer questions or comments later than you'd anticipate. Providing more silence when asking for questions will better allow these participants to contribute.
Thank you for your time today, and more importantly, for your partnership with us on creating more inclusive, equitable, and accessible spaces for all of our members. This important work is only possible if we work together as a team to create the culture of accessibility Nell discussed earlier. If you would like more information about the AAA's initiatives, programs, and resources to achieve this goal, please visit americananthro.org/accessibility. Feel free to reach out to us at any time with questions and feedback at accessibility@americananthro.org. Thanks so much for your time.